Hello and welcome to this YourTown, Georgina Spotlight episode. In this straight-to-the-point format, our guest, their organization, and their message is the star of the show. Now, thanks so much for joining us. Hey, Ben, how are things?
Things are great. Loving this weather.
Yeah, right? We're coming into it. We've been talking about it being a long time coming, but we're inching closer to this really hot summer they keep telling us about.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for that.
Right. And we're kind of coming up on the end of school. Now, you've got one child who is perhaps not quite old enough to appreciate it, but how about the kindy? Excitement there? Or?
Yeah, I think he's getting excited about it. I don't think it's really sunken in with him either yet, because he's in junior kindergarten. This will be his first summer vacation. Our other one's going to stay in daycare throughout the summer, but
nice.
I think he'll enjoy it. Got some camps planned and things like that.
I was going to ask you, like summer plans as well. So camps planned. Is he back in baseball this year? I know he's a baseball fan.
Oh yeah, he's back in baseball. T-ball, 5-year-old T-ball is just a great thing to watch.
All right.
So doing that with the Lake Simcoe Softball Association, and
wonderful,
having a lot of fun with that.
That's great to hear. Yeah, we're doing our part. We're with the Lake Simcoe Soccer Club. Both girls having a great time with that. But
nice.
Yeah, just one of the things, one of the many activities that kind of makes the summer fly by, and then all of a sudden the leaves are turning. We're right back to that cooler weather, right?
Yeah, exactly. Get the snowblower ready. Oh no.
Canada. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Ben, I thought that I'd throw a little follow-up from our last couple of episodes because why not? Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did take the family to Elm Grove Farmers Collective.
Oh, cool.
And I was inspired by the chat with Zandra, and let me tell you, it didn't disappoint, as you know. What an operation, and there's really kind of something for everyone there. My wife picked up all kinds of great produce. She especially loved the radishes. I love the spinach, but I should say we missed grabbing the last asparagus by about 60 seconds. So my advice, and you probably know this, you try to get there first thing because it's popular and the product moves. It's kind of best to take the garage sale approach, if you know what I mean.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, get there early. But yeah, still so much great stuff. I mean, the kids were perhaps a little bit less focused on the produce, but loved walking around the grounds. And admittedly, the sheep got a lot of attention from them.
And the chickens?
Chickens as well.
Yep.
Can't forget about the chickens, right? And, there were also lambs. It wasn't just full-grown sheep. There were lambs there, Ben. Now, I know you live on a farm, and you may look at these things a little bit differently, but, man, so darn cute.
Oh, no, I know. Give me baby animals. Everything's a puppy to me, so
you can still appreciate
sheep
that.
Puppies. I become a 6-year-old very quickly.
Yeah. Same here. Now, of course, despite the sheer size of it, and you've been there, you know how big it is. It's a huge property, but it still has kind of an intimate, kind of a familial feel to it, which I really like. I mean, everyone's really friendly and helpful, and I know I don't have to tell you, but it was just a cool place. And as we learned in the podcast, it's about so much more than just the farming that happens there. So if you haven't yet, go back and listen to the episode to learn more. Just a little plug for the episode and for Elm Grove. Yeah. Now, in addition to that, though, the fam and I also got out to the first Pride Georgina event.
Nice.
No Prejudice, All Pride. Yeah, it was a great experience at the Ice Palace, as we talked about. And as soon as we walked in, you could see all the support from local businesses and organizations. I mean, the whole ice rink, it was lined with vendors like all the way around.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. And lots of support from the town, including York Regional Police. It was just really cool to see the diverse makeup of the crowd. And of course, all there to reinforce the Pride Georgina messages of inclusivity, community, and visibility. And Grant, Mr. Peckford, who we of course met on the pod. Can I say that? Is that lingo? We met him on the pod.
I think it works.
Yeah, it works. I can do that. Well, he gave a great speech to kick things off. He was also supported by Mayor Margaret Quirk as well, which is great to see. And while I didn't get to see all the performances, we did get to witness a great native drum performance from the Chippewas of Georgina. Wow. So it was really, really cool. Glad my kids got to see that as well. Just all around a great time and something that the whole family enjoyed. So congratulations to Pride Georgina on the success of their first event. And let's keep that momentum going, right?
Absolutely. I'm sorry we couldn't make it. Definitely next year.
Yeah. Well, I think these guys are going to be pretty active. We look forward to seeing what comes out of that organization.
Good.
Now, moving from an organization that's in its infancy, like Pride Georgina, to an organization that is celebrating its 70th year in our town. Yeah, Ben, I'm talking about the Pefferlaw Lions Club. So tell me, how familiar are you with the Lions Club?
A little bit. I definitely have been to their car show more than a few times in Pefferlaw.
I thought so.
Yeah. Brought my own car on display. My father-in-law has a couple of old Chryslers, so
amazing.
It's a staple of our summer, and see them around at various events, usually supporting with a barbecue. So, and it's lunchtime, you go see the Lions Club and have some fantastic hamburgers and hot dogs.
That's great. All right. Well, I knew I could count on you because, often we've discovered that I use these podcasts to educate myself, and then I get actually the practical experience from you because you've already checked all these boxes.
Yeah,
so that's what you're a great transplant, Ben. Let me tell you.
I try it. I still have a lot to learn. So.
Admittedly, and I mentioned this to our guest, the Lions Club seems ever present to me, at least as a Canadian, who continuously travels around the country. You do too. They're ubiquitous, a little bit like the Legion, but very similar to the Legion. Even though I see Lions Clubs all around, I wasn't entirely sure exactly what they're all about. What activities are they engaged in, especially as it pertains to our town. So I did a bit of research and quickly realized that we needed a Pefferlaw Lions Club episode. So much of what they do, it overlaps with our goals with this podcast, supporting and celebrating our town, making the sense of community a little bit easier to feel. But really their efforts go well beyond that. They're making a real and tangible difference to the well-being of the residents of Georgina. So Ben, do you want to know more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, a little disclaimer. This is the first episode in which we have two guests being interviewed at the same time. Now, because of a couple of technical limitations, which I know you're aware of, we needed to put them on the same mic. So you may hear the volume go up and down a little bit despite our best efforts. And thanks again to our guests for leaning into each other, literally, to make this work. All right, here we go. It's my pleasure to welcome to the podcast the president of the Pefferlaw Lions Club, Brian Busby, as well as the club secretary, Ryan Williams. Ryan, thank you so much for being on the YourTown, Georgina podcast.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for having us. This is great.
All right. Now we're trying something a little new here, right? We've got two folks on one mic, and that's because of my technical limitations. Nobody else's fault but me, but we're going to make this work. And I think it's going to be wonderful. And I'm really happy to have both of you guys and getting a couple of perspectives on the topic of the day. Now, I would like to stick to protocol, and that means I'm going to ask you guys a question that I ask all of my guests. And we got into this a little bit with Ryan before we push record, but we're going to come back to it. Brian, can I ask you, how did you come to make Georgina your home? How did you come to this town?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually started as a volunteer. I came up, the area is beautiful, as you can see, but I started as a volunteer for the Art Center, the Georgina Art Center and Gallery. Started volunteering there, became a board member, and then went to chairman of the board for 7 years, where you're supposed to do a 3-year term. So I fell in love with the area, the art and the culture. There's a lot to take in, even just in that area. And then I slowly morphed into moving into Pefferlaw, Ontario from Uxbridge. And I've never left.
That's
15
great.
years later.
15 years it's been. Yeah. Okay, just like that. Ryan, not currently a resident, but you're very much connected to this town. How did you get connected with the Pefferlaw Lions Club, if I can ask?
I met the former president of our club, Ron Denbrassam, at an open mic that we both attended in Vroomington. And I would say I wasn't a Lion at that point in time, but I had been a Lions Club secretary previously in Sunderland, and he kind of convinced me over a 6-month period of time to give it another shot and join Pefferlaw, and that was probably, I would say, 3 or 4 years ago now, and I'm very happy that he did.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And we're going to come at this obviously from a couple of different angles because each of you have your own perspective. But we are going to start pretty big picture here, guys. And obviously, it goes without saying, the Lions Club is a very well-established organization. But perhaps for those that may not know, can you help us understand? I'm going to ask it pretty plain and simple. What is the Lions Club?
It's our 70th anniversary, but what is the Lions Club? So, 1.4 million members worldwide.
Wow.
A lot of people don't understand how big it really is. It's international. Ryan and I get international emails from all over the world. But what we do every year is continue to grow. We all pay to be a volunteer, but we also give back every dime. And so what we've done with that so we're 70 years.
Yeah.
So the Lions Club has been going on forever.
So Pefferlaw Lions Club is 70 years.
70 years this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
fascinating.
So the Lions Club itself, even more. Do I have it right? It's more than 100 years old.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Wow.
People like Jimmy Carter, like when you start to look into who would belong to it, and people even in our town, and bankers and lawyers and all the people, the business people that belong to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating behind the scenes how much work they do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, well, let's narrow that focus just a little bit. And is there an explicit or a specific mandate for the Lions Club, or does it vary across the different clubs that are around the world?
No, it doesn't. It's a clear mission right from the top down.
Okay.
AP Singh is our president right now. He's in India. And he puts the message across. It's very clear. We're going to 1.5 million members, and we support our communities. Wow. We have our own bank accounts. We have our own things. We decide on local. They don't tell us what to do. They guide us, but we decide where we're going to do. Like we raised funds for the local school, raised funds for people that their house burnt down. Wow. It just goes on and on of the amount of work we do, which sort of left me in the dust when I learned about it.
Sure.
I didn't realize how much they do.
So in other words, the activities in which you guys are employed, there really is no limit to it. If you can be of support, then you will be, whether that be humanitarian or, I mean, one thing that I know a little bit about the Lions, I know that there's a connection to hearing, as that's one of the things I think of when I think of the Lions Club, supporting perhaps those who are hearing impaired, or trying to perhaps offer services in support of those folks. Do I have that right?
You're right. It's the seeing. There's all kinds of pillars.
Yeah.
Mental health, seeing eye dogs.
Wow.
When you start to go through the pillars, it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
We do all the testing, the eye testing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So when you say the testing, can you build on that, Ryan? What are we talking about there?
So, I mean, in the past, I think we have partnered with another Lions Club that also exists in Pefferlaw to go into local schools and do both vision and hearing testing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And this is a service that's paid for by the Lions Club through, this is something that you guys undertake.
It's something we provide, and also the machines are very expensive, but we've paid for those to provide that service because the children are the future, right?
Yeah. Okay. This is great. Now, I obviously am going to want to go a little bit deeper into some of these activities, but I do want to back up for just a moment and talk about the structure of the organization for a moment. So is the club officially a nonprofit? Is it committee based? How exactly is it administered? What does that look like?
So we do have an executive that is elected by the members of the club. Mm-hmm. So we'd have a president, first vice president, a second vice president, along with club secretary and treasurer. And then normally we have two directors that are elected to be on the board as well.
Yeah.
And so they kind of administer everything. We are completely a nonprofit. It's just we're not a registered charity, just to make that distinction for you.
Now, I did see, I mean, there's obviously a lot of different elements to this. And one of the things that I saw was that a number of years ago, there was a Lions Club foundation that was created as to support the efforts. And I saw that the number that had been raised in terms of dollar figure, it was $1.3 billion in support of these activities. Can you give me a sense, and maybe we'll keep it in the local context, in the context of the Pefferlaw Lions Club, but how exactly are these funds raised? You mentioned the machines, the equipment that's used for the testing itself. That's not cheap.
So what you're speaking about is Lions Club International Fund. Mm-hmm. So that's an LCIF.
Okay.
And that means that clubs around the world can give into that. So you take care of Lions Club, and then there's Lions Club International Fund.
Yeah.
That's the fund that we do stuff. So I wanted to answer your earlier question about our pillars.
Yeah, sure.
I just pulled it up for you, sir. Childhood cancer.
Okay.
Diabetes. Disaster relief.
Sure.
The environment, which we're always doing things for the environment. Humanitarian. Mm-hmm. Hunger. Vision. And youth.
Wow. Yeah. So when you said you're not limited, you weren't lying. I mean, that's a pretty broad spectrum of support and assistance. That's amazing. Okay. So can I also clarify though? You mentioned it's technically a nonprofit, not officially a charity. Does the Lions Club receive support from any particular level of government, municipal, provincial, federal, or does it operate independently in that regard?
I mean, we would operate independently. In the past, we have applied for some grants, but it's not like the club is funded on any particular level of government, and we would be, applying for grants when, the opportunity, I guess, presents itself, or we have a big project that, we can't really undertake on our own. But I mean, most of the time, I would say we're typically raising the funds locally through our Lions Bingo and other events that we're putting on. So it's not like I would say an organization where we're reliant on government support, but obviously we do appreciate it when we get it.
Okay. I want to learn a little bit more about that. You mentioned the Lions Bingo, and I mean, outside of the great work that you're doing for the community, I need to hear more about some of these ways that you're raising money. And obviously, this is a good opportunity to hopefully maybe bring in some of our listeners who haven't engaged as of yet. So tell me, how exactly do you do this locally?
So, I mean, we have the bingo every Wednesday at the Pefferlaw Lions Hall. I mean,
Pete's Lane, right?
Pete's Lane. You got it. The numbers kind of vary. I would say most weeks we probably average around 100 participants, but I mean, obviously that fluctuates based on the time of year and where the jackpot is in terms of time.
Tell me, let's be self-serving for a second. Like, what could a participant, the big winner at the bingo, what's the take home?
So $2,000 is usually our grand prize.
Wow. Okay. And obviously that still leaves lots of room for fundraising for the club itself, clearly.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Really good, actually. All right. You heard it here. Get out to the bingo. So you mentioned every Wednesday. Can you tell me what else is going on?
We have our euchre nights. I guess is that still the first Friday?
Euchre nights. Yeah. It's the Friday. Yep.
First Friday of every month.
Yes. Yep. It's very busy. A lot of local people. They love the euchre. We do barbecues and things like that for the local communities.
Yeah.
Like we do it for the school, and they let us make the funds from that.
Fantastic.
We're also doing the big car show and festival in Sutton, Ontario this year.
Okay.
We partnered up with the Kinsman Club.
Great.
And they're letting us do all the cooking there. So that'll be a big fundraiser.
Wonderful.
And every dollar we take back from the club goes right back to the community.
Awesome.
Every dollar.
Awesome. Okay. Now, we talked a little bit off mic. We both share an interest in cars, perhaps. So we're gonna come back to that car show, Brian. I'm telling you right now, okay? But I do want to make sure that in the interest of covering all the bases, Ryan, earlier you mentioned that you gave us some insights, I should say, into the structure of the Pefferlaw Lions Club. But I'm also curious, what the member structure is. In other words, can people just join the Pefferlaw Lions Club and just be a member, or perhaps is there volunteer opportunities, or are you all filled up?
No, I mean, how does that look? We're always looking for new members. Like everyone's welcome to come out to a meeting or maybe come out to bingo. I feel a lot of our more recent members probably, we're participants at bingo first, like including Brian here, where that was kind of their introduction to the club, and then kind of realized that the bingo's entirely run by the Lions Club. And then, in some ways it's like the bingo kind of led to them deciding that they wanted to join.
That's great. And what does the process look like to become a member?
So normally you would come out to a meeting, and then typically you would come to 3 meetings. They don't obviously have to be back to back. And then at that point in time, typically we would consider you for membership, and then as long as you're still interested and willing, at some point we would have someone come and do an induction, and you would become a member of the club.
Thank you for sharing that. All right. Now, you might feel that this is a little bit redundant based on some of the conversation that we've already had, but I want to formalize this a little bit. And I'm hoping that you might be able to share some examples of the work that the Pefferlaw Lions Club is engaged in, or perhaps even a story whereby you had the opportunity to really make an impact.
Well, I was just looking through our pillars again as I was talking to you, so you spurred some stuff here. So if you look at a couple, I'm just going to go through each one if you don't mind. If I've got a couple seconds,
of course.
It says diabetes. So we did our first diabetes walk last year. It's always been in our vision, but we were mandated to what are you going to do? So we've got the Lions Club International. The people come in from the Diabetes Association, and we did our first walk, and we raised $10,000.
Wow!
So my daughter's type 1, so it was near and dear to my heart.
That's
pretty
great.
Special, and a number of our members are diabetic, type 1 and type 2. So to do our first walk, so it goes back to, again, let's brag about the community.
Yeah.
Georgina made that happen. It didn't just come out of the air. It was the people that we wanted to do it. So that is diabetes. Then it says here, in the next one is disaster relief. So what we did, and we keep talking about it, but it's worth talking about. Do you remember the big storm? Everybody does.
Yeah.
We were hit pretty hard over there. Some people had no food. Their basements were flooded. There's no power for weeks.
Yeah.
What we did was we opened up the hall. I don't know if you've heard that story, but
No,
we opened the hall. Well, this is good.
Yeah.
So we opened the hall and we did so many meals, actually thousands. Wow. So we worked with the town of Georgina, the police department, the fire department, and we had a warming station. We made it a first aid center as well. We found people that hadn't had showers for a week or two, and all their food had gone bad in their fridge. So we to the call. The Lions Club stepped up.
That's great.
The president, vice president, all of us stepped up, right? Don and the whole works of them. It was so now we've won quite a few awards out of it, and but it was just giving. We just did it naturally.
Yeah.
We just opened up. The food was there, warm food, a place to think. Then the Red Cross got involved because it was so bad.
Wow.
People didn't have places to sleep, so we opened up the hall and actually had people sleep there.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
That's a great example.
Yeah. So that one was done. And then we talked about environment. We're always working on the environment. We're always cleaning the area. We're working on the park, and we have skating there, and we have the PIP for the skate park jam coming up, right?
Yeah.
A lot of really neat things coming up. The next thing you know is we've got hunger. So back to hunger, we always take funds and give it to the food bank here.
Yeah.
Across this whole region. And then what we don't talk about enough is that when we do bingo, we have 100 to 120 people show up, as Ryan said. And when they show up, they bring food. And every week so we're up to, I think, 550 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
of
always
food
growing.
isn't that great?
That is fantastic.
Then Vision, we talked about that we actually go to the schools with the Lions and the Lion. We should talk about the Lioness. That's all the women's club, part of our club.
Yeah.
And the Lioness are always out there doing things like that, for doing Christmas gifts for people that don't have things like food and toys for their children. They do that at Christmas, and then doing things like the Vision screening, which is really important to the area. Yeah. So, and then youth. So we didn't talk about youth. We have a boys and girls committee that's always part of my meeting and part of our culture. Ryan and I sort of control that out the front, and they do always something for boys and girls in the committees in the area. So we're engaged. It's a school teacher that's actually in charge of our committee, and we engage the whole community in all the schools, everything.
Wow.
So I don't think I missed anything there, but.
These are amazing examples, and it's nice to hear the tangible ones that connect directly with our community. I think that's fantastic. Now, I might have asked this question a bit of a different way earlier, but let me put it this way: is the Pefferlaw Lions Club unique compared to other Lions Club, or would you say the work's fairly consistent? Because you gave great examples there that touched a variety of different things, including youth, humanitarian. I'm curious: is that similar to what it looks like at other Lions clubs?
I mean, I have been a member of another club. I would say the goals are very similar, but each club has its own events.
Yeah.
Like the club I was a member at before, there was no bingo. They didn't have like a consistent weekly fundraiser like that. And I mean, they would do other fundraisers throughout the year, but just to compare and contrast my experiences, I would say each club is independent in that, like, you know, the experience you're going to have at one club, it is going to differ, I would say, in some ways slightly, in other ways majorly, from an experience at another club. And so really, even though we kind of all have these common goals and objectives in mind, it is different in that, you know, each club is going to operate in their own way and have their own events. And, you know, some clubs are going to be more active, and some clubs, maybe if they're smaller membership wise, like they just can't do as many events as a bigger club with more members, for example.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I think it really links to kind of where I was going with my next question, which was kind of how does the Lions Club determine kind of what issues and causes that they apply their focus to? And it sounds a little bit like there's a general culture within the Lions Club, international, perhaps the organization, that sort of trickles down the spirit of the club, but also each club has their own independent flavor, their own independent approach, and you're kind of responding to what that town specifically is, how they're going to benefit. So you adapt your approach to the town.
100%.
Yeah.
We have just I see where you're going. This is good. Yeah. We have 4 past presidents.
Okay.
So people that have stuck with us, and they're an asset, and they're very powerful because they've done things their way. So now I'm the next president. Ryan's been a secretary for a number of years now, been very instrumental in how we guide the club. So when I got involved, that president did it his way. Now we're doing it my way for now. We're all we're just a great group, and we have every grade. Just so you know, we have 22 years old to 90 years old.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's
spanning, and we live together. Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
So you get a yes and you get a no.
Yeah.
So, but just so you know, the president doesn't tell them what to do. My job's to get everybody together, and then we all agree on it and we vote. So I don't even have a vote. So it's really cool.
Very cool. Okay, you mentioned getting together, and that's one thing that maybe we didn't talk about with regards to the administration of the club itself. But I understand, is it a couple of times a month you get together? What does that look like? How do you actually come up with these ideas, plan, and execute all of this great work?
So we do meet twice a month. It's normally the first and third Monday of the month.
Okay.
Depending on, obviously, civic holidays and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so then, we do get emails or letters that come in for requests for support from different, local people that are going through hardship, or other charities that are kind of looking for our support for their events, whether they be, bigger national projects or more localized charities, or, groups operating in Georgina that need kind of our support to kind of run their programs. So, I mean, I would say every meeting there's typically 3 or 4 requests, sometimes less, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. And then obviously as the secretary, it's part of my role to kind of bring those requests to the club, and then I would read their emails or letter, and then as a club we would kind of vote on what our interest level is in supporting it. And I mean, obviously we also have to factor in our financial position, in that some cases we'd love to support every single thing we can, but at the same time there are factors there in terms of how much funds we have available to distribute, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. Is the membership itself, I'm curious, is there a red thread that ties them together? I'm just wondering, is there a screening process, for example? Is there a code of ethics that guides them? I mean, I'm curious, just outside of the mandate perhaps that is loosely dictated from the top, what does that look like? How do you, I don't want to say police, but perhaps guide the actions of your membership?
I mean, there is a code of ethics. I don't think I'm in a position to quote that to you directly, but at the same time, I would say that, you know what I mean? Obviously, to me, most of the people that join have a strong interest in the community itself, or in terms of helping the community.
Yeah.
And I would say, to me, if you wanted one characteristic that kind of links everyone together, it is kind of that community focus, or just having a vision or a willingness to want to donate your time to make your community a better place to live in. Like, if you were looking for one statement to sum up what is it to be a Lions member, and specifically a Pefferlaw Lions member, that's kind of what I would give you. But other than that, I feel like a lot of our members come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and there isn't, you know what I mean, maybe for some other kind of social clubs where there's one aspect that kind of ties them all together. Sure. I just feel like we have such a variety of members that you can't really pick out, one specific thing that kind of everyone has in common other than that community focus.
Well, if we were to take the kind of the biological analogy, that's a really good answer. I mean, we might say that, the more diverse, the stronger communities, the ones that survive, are the ones that have that kind of diverse makeup, that with new perspectives and can offer differing ideas, and that starting with a belief in community and in doing something positive for your community is kind of the foundation, and then everything else kind of just falls into place, I suppose.
What I find is that we have a whole room full of rock stars, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And I tell this to everybody when I've been on Roger, whoever asked me, it doesn't matter who asked me.
Yeah.
And because they say, well, how do you get them to do that? And you can't slow them down.
Okay.
They're a powerful engine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they're 22 or 90, it doesn't matter. None of that. If they decide they're going to do something, they go and get it done, right, Ryan?
This is very true.
Yeah. It's just exciting to watch and see. And then for me to stand up and try and remotely take claim for it, it's not the way it works.
Yeah.
It's the whole team. And you have to really get that in your head that it's our team, and they know that because that's why they voted for me.
Yeah.
And that's why we're who we are. We all had to be voted to our positions, just so you know. So you have to, have everybody rally around you.
I want to build on that just a little bit and ask you guys maybe individually. I mean, this is a commitment. You don't have to do this. You guys have your own lives. You're busy guys. And I'm curious to know, I mean, personally, what do you get from it? What benefit do you take from this investment?
When I originally joined, I was working from home at the time. That's not correct now, but I would say at the time, I'm a very social person. So in some ways, I just kind of miss like the camaraderie of an office or the social interaction. So in some ways it's like if you're at your house for your job and you're not going out to see people in person, it kind of replaced that office environment for me personally at that time. And that like, I'm just a social being and I need to be around people. Otherwise it's not good. And I got that from it. But I mean, on another hand, it does feel good to me to give back and to do something as a team and raise money for the community as a whole. And that, you know what I mean? I just feel some ways in society today, everyone is so focused on their own personal gain that I feel like you kind of lose that like team effort to do something good for everyone. That's not about, you know, how do I get ahead? Like, how do we get ahead as a town? And I just feel good about that, and that I wish there was more of that around.
Yeah, I think that's really well said, and I will tell you, Ryan, that's a big motivation for the podcast itself. It's a key goal to make the sense of community a little bit more tangible, so that we can feel it. Because it feels good to be part of something, and that was certainly even the motivation for you to join in the first place. So yeah, I like that. Can I throw the same question at you, Brian? What do you get from this? I mean, it's an investment in your time and your effort.
Well, I was minding my own business on my lawn, cutting it, and I'm across from the Lions Hall, and there's a gentleman that kept coming every week, and he asked me, "Why don't you join? We need a young guy like you." I said, "I'm not young. Let's be clear here." And he kept coming and coming and coming, and he was so motivated. And sadly enough, he passed away.
Oh, okay.
And I really, really loved the man, Max. And Max was just the salt of the earth. But I could see that he cared enough that he was on me all the time, and he didn't lose a beat. And I ended up knowing that he was a military pastor. He was a dedicated war veteran. He never talked about how special he was. And my dad was the same way. So that was pretty special. So they kept asking me. So I finally went over to Bingo, started to see all the good work they were doing. And the vacuum just started. And I just started, my wife and I started at Bingo. We really loved it. The community. So I have 6 kids. I have 3 grandchildren, soon to be 4. I have a car full. I have a 54 Chevy, 55 Chevy. I love cars. That's my hobby, and motorcycles. But I have lots going on. But you know what? It attracted me enough that the people and the stuff they were doing in the community, I couldn't help myself. Because after 7 years at the Art Center, I said, I'm not going to jump into anything too fast. But the people is the reason I'm there.
That's very cool.
And I'll tell them that to their face. Look, I don't need to do this. And I've stood up, and you've heard me say it. I don't need to do this. I want to do it if you want to do it.
Gotcha.
And they voted me, and this is where we are. And we're doing a great job.
That's great.
Everybody's it's a great family. It really is.
Yeah, that's really cool, Brian. It sounds like, it started for you. It was a kind of a product of proximity, but it was the people that kept you there.
100% people. People are everything. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. So we have obviously touched on some of the great work that you've already done, but I am curious. We know that fundraising is very important to the work that you do. Any upcoming events that we should be informing our listeners about?
Oh, I'm getting the finger.
Yeah, the pointer finger.
I'm getting. Yeah, right. That's the one. So Skate Jam, we're doing that at the pit, but that's going to be after the broadcast, which is fine.
Okay.
But that's just, let me explain that quickly, because that's the 2 latest ones. The Skate Jam is for we say a younger crowd, but we're doing a barbecue, we're doing pizza, we're doing Casio watches, and we have a number of Pizzavilles involved.
Yeah.
So we're doing it so they can come and enjoy the park, because that's why we built it. A 62-year-old guy doesn't necessarily need the skate park, but my grandchildren, my kids, and the grandchildren do.
Just put an image in my head,
and I
Brian.
keep telling them that.
Pretty good.
Sorry.
You on a skateboard. It was good.
Yeah, I might get out there.
Yeah, right.
If you have an ambulance, I'll go. So this will be, look, the park went from, barely any cars. Now the baseball diamond's full, the pip's full, the town's engaged. We have the skating.
Yeah.
Right. It just goes and goes. The Lions Club, the thing, if you look at the parking lot, and it was, when I got there, it was half barren, honestly. So now with the help, you can't discredit the town of Georgina, because our councillor, Ward 5, Lee Dale, I'm going to put his plug in, because he's been very engaged, right, Ryan, with us, and done a heck of a job. So now we've got the skate jam to really launch that. And so people, let me just paint you a little picture. On the weekends now, people take their whole family there, bring food, they go to the picnic tables and enjoy the skate park.
Nice.
It's
nice.
Like, and they see me coming and go, "Are we doing something wrong?" I said, "This is what it's made for."
Right.
Yeah. So that's that one.
That's great.
And then the next one after that is our car show and community festival, which is a big one.
All right.
3,000 to 4,000 people show up. We had 320 cars last year, which is a big, it's a lot of work. But it's called the Car Show and Community Festival. We have vendors, so we're almost full, but we'd love to have vendors if anybody hears this and would like to be part of it.
Okay.
We have everybody from cupcakes to art to
Great.
you name it. We have them there. The hot dog vendors. We have bumper cars this year, so we want to have families come there, and the cars and the motorcycles and the trucks, and everybody comes and shows off their stuff. It's our 70th anniversary.
Nice.
So we'll probably fill the park. We usually do. So the vendors are available and the community groups. And then when you look at the actual car show, it's July 25th, Saturday. It's $10 per vehicle, and the spectators are free. So the families are free. Come and enjoy everything.
That's great. Now, I'm sorry if I missed it.
Go ahead.
Where is it that we're doing? This is at.
It's at the Pefferlaw Lions Hall.
It is at the hall.
38 Pete's Lane. It's at the Lions Hall. We have the whole front and the back. Everything's completely full.
Can we expect to see a 54 or 55 Chevy there? Is that
100%. 100%. Yes.
We look forward to that.
Registration opens at 8 o'clock, and the car show is 9 till 3. So it's just a great family day.
That's great.
Food and the whole, Ryan, pretty much.
It's the busiest day in Pefferlaw.
Yeah,
it is. It really is.
And you don't have to be a gearhead to go out. I mean, I've experienced this. I come from an automotive background myself, so it's naturally I like walking up and down those aisles. But anyone can enjoy a car show, right, Ryan? I mean, you're a musician, right? But you like going to the car show.
I do. I ran into friends last year that I didn't know were going to be there, and they were looking to buy a hot rod. So, I mean, again, as not a big car person as you guys are, it's still a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great to hear. Okay, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm glad that we got that out there. Remember, that one's July 25th at the Pefferlaw Lions Club Hall on Pete's Lane, I should say, in Pefferlaw. Now, I do want to. We're starting to get close to the end of our time together, guys, and I'm just curious to get your perspective. I mean, like the Legion, for example, many communities are supported by the Lions Club, and I'm just curious. Why do you think that the Lions Club is an important part of a rich and a strong community?
I mean, I would say, in terms of volunteers, we do support other organizations as well. It's not always about us. So, I mean, sometimes, we can partner with outside Lions clubs or legions, for example, or just, you know what I mean, kind of working all together to grow the community. Or to me, it's not always about us taking front and center. Like if we need to partner with the Kinsmen or the Legion or another group in order to kind of collaborate on an event for the good of the community or the town of Georgina itself, then we're willing to do things like that. And try and make a difference.
I think that's great. Very well said. Yeah.
Ryan said a funny word. We're trying. We're not trying.
We're doing.
We're really doing a good job.
Yeah.
We really are.
No, I think that's great. And the reality is we know that public infrastructure, it's there. Sometimes it can only go so far. And we do rely on the kindness of strangers. We rely on the kindness of organizations and committees, groups like the Lions Club, really to help us maybe get to that next level of support. And ultimately, beyond the specific efforts, there's a sense of community there. And you guys have hit on that a few times as we've spoken. And I think that whether you call that a secondary or tertiary benefit, I think it's a really important part of the work that you guys do.
I think we're really, really close with, when you see social media and you see the things that we do, we don't get people attack us or say, oh, the Lions are doing this or they're doing, it's all about them. It's not about us.
Yeah,
it's about helping and doing the right. We're not going to do everything perfect, but we're sure going to try.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Be engaged.
Okay, well, I think that's a natural segue to my kind of final question, which is if our listeners want to know more about the Lions Club, the Pefferlaw Lions Club, maybe they want to get involved, maybe they want to support or even benefit from the work that you do, where should we direct them?
So if they want to send an email to pefferlawlions@gmail.com with any questions or inquiries, or if they're interested in joining, that would be great. And then we also have our Facebook page, which is really, really big.
Okay.
So if you just search up Pefferlaw Lions on Facebook, I think pretty much all of our events and bingo, everything gets promoted through that.
That's great.
And Brian, did you have anything else?
Yeah, Instagram. We're on Instagram as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryan summed it up. We're pretty much on all of those things.
Yeah.
And they can reach out to, and then if they'd like to use the phone numbers on Facebook and Instagram, so they're welcome to call. And when they call, they'll talk to the president. That's my number.
Awesome.
And if they're lucky, they'll get my wife. She's his own chair. So.
Even better. All right, guys. Well, hey, I want to thank you very much for giving us your time and helping us learn a little bit more about Pefferlaw Lions Club. I mean, I think it was educational from understanding the nature of the organization and how it works. I think it's for some folks, it's one of those organizations that you see it. If you go into a town, you might see the logo, but maybe you're not quite sure exactly what's happening there. And I think you filled in those gaps, but more importantly, you helped us understand why an organization like the Pefferlaw Lions Club is just so important to our community. So thank you very much for the important work that you do. And thank you also for being on the YourTown, Georgina podcast.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us, Rob.
There you have it, Ben, the Pefferlaw Lions Club. Now, what'd you think?
Really interesting. I mean, bingo. Wow. What a $2,000. That's
I know.
And all the food.
The only one that was, they didn't seem, I mean, they're used to it, I guess, but I was like, really? That's the potential take home? Like, that's not nothing.
Exactly. No, that's very cool. And it's great to hear just the scope of it. Not just worldwide, but just locally what they do. And
yeah, that was particularly interesting for me because obviously I did a bit of background research. And there's, the Lions Club, like internationally or the broader organization, they've got a great website with tons of great information. But, it was particularly interesting to see how that kind of applied to our town specifically. One thing that I didn't tell you, a little bit of an aside here, but Brian, big car guy. I mean, maybe you would know that from the car show, but a big motorsport guy as well. Do you know that he actually traveled with the IndyCar circuit?
No way.
Oh yeah, like Bobby Rahal, Mo. Like these are names that you kind of have to be a racing fan to know. But I was geeking out a little bit, and we almost didn't get to the podcast because we quickly realized that the Venn diagram had some pretty major overlaps.
Of course.
And so I mean, had you been in the room, I'm sure we never would have got
it's probably best I wasn't here
to the podcast. But yeah, I am very thankful that we did get to it. I mean, there was just so much there, and like you, I was amazed by the diversity or the range of their activities. And by the time Brian was done listing off the main pillars, I'm thinking to myself, man, it would be easier to list the areas of support in which you're not involved in.
That's true.
Yeah,
and what I loved about it is they have the guidance from their international leaders, but it's very much left to their own devices.
Yeah.
Support what you want, like just as long as you're helping your community.
Yeah.
Whichever way you think works best.
That's really well put. And I think that it's neat to see that. Certainly they have directives from the top. There's the foundation. There's funds to even draw from potentially. But it's very much tailored to the needs of that specific town.
Yeah.
And he's listing them off. I mean, diabetes, the walk, $10,000 raised there, the disaster relief, opening up the hall, giving people a place to sleep, providing meals. Then, the environmental efforts, hunger relief, the vision, hearing screening and testing, all the youth support, which even that comes in all kinds of forms. And I didn't mention it during the interview, but even my sister, she actually benefited from a Lions Club bursary related to our grandfather's military background. That was sort of the bursary is kind of connected to that, sort of to a military type of family, specifically RCAF for my family, as you know, that helped out with some of her early education needs, which was kind of cool, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, just so much going on, and behind all of that is a group of caring and dedicated volunteers. I mean, as you know, no one is doing that as a full-time job there, right? They're doing this because they care about the community and about making a difference. And remember Ryan, who we spoke with, he's not a resident of Georgina, but through the Lions Club, he now has a connection to this town. And it was clear that the work was deeply important to him. It was really cool to see.
Absolutely. You could hear the passion.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, and I'm not sure that I can think of another organization that has so many, touch points when it comes to community support. I thought that was a really important takeaway. Really, I'm glad I got to know more about the Lions Club.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Yeah. So thanks again to Brian Busby and Ryan Williams from the Pefferlaw Lions Club for giving us their time and educating us on the great work that they do. do. This is an organization that is worthy of support. So get out to a bingo or a euchre night. And as a reminder, the car show, Ben, big fan, right? The car show and community festival.
And I'd like to stress, it is, as they said, it's so much more than a car show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the vendors they have. I remember a couple of years ago, they had hot air balloon rides, things like that. A few years ago, they had the local remote controlled plane club.
Oh, amazing. Oh,
getting people to try out remote control planes.
Planes and cars, Ben? I mean,
just remote control planes there. But yeah, no, it's true.
It's in the arena.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's fantastic. Even if you're not a car person, it's a great place to walk around.
All right. Well, so you heard that firsthand account from Ben. It's happening on July 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pefferlaw Lions Club. That's 38 Pete's Lane. And special thanks to Ryan for his enduring patience and listening to Brian and I wax motorsport and cars for almost as long as the podcast recording. So thanks again, Ryan. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, subscribe. And if you like what you hear, rate and review us and help us get the word out about this great town. With that, let's turn it over to our good friend Bernadette Connors. We'll see you next time.
I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a lady of the lake. I learned to drive on a dirt road, and I got all it takes. Myself in the water and my footprints in the sand. The moon can push and pull the tide, but this is where I stand. Georgina, I could never really leave ya. I've been all around the world and still you bring me back again. Georgina, I've got friends in the city. They've got a tower and everything. I tried it out for a little while, but where you don't have roots, you can't grow wings. Georgina, I could never really leave ya. I've been all around the world and still you bring me back again. Georgina, when I'm gone I dream ya. Late at night, later on, you're always on my mind. Georgina, should I stay or should I go? I'll always be scared of the great unknown. I see myself in the water, I see myself in the water.